Today we're going to do a song in the style of Glaive. He just dropped a full length, so I figured it would be fitting for this week. And it's an artist that I think is super, super cool. And it's neat watching him go from kind of like the hyper pop lane, like whenever he dropped Cypress Grove, into like more of this indie rock kind of lane. And so that's what we're doing today. I'm going to play you the song. I don't think I did anything different on the second verse. So I'll just play through the first chorus and then I'll show you what I did. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play around with these chorus drums a little bit more. Before the video started, I was messing around with them, trying to get them to feel right. On songs like As If, there's like this really intense, like widening effect that you get in the chorus. And I don't know if like Mitch McCarthy is just like boosting room mics during that section, or if it was like a production move where like they put something on the drums, because the snare sounds extremely wide to the point where it's almost like a little phasey. And I think it's super, super cool. So I was trying to replicate that and I kind of forgot to do anything about the kick. So we'll just go ahead and start with the drums. The kick, this is just a contact instrument playing everything. But so the kick is just going through an EQ and Spectre. You just saw the EQ. Spectre's just doing a bit of a low boost on it. And then I have it going through drum bus to kind of kill the sustain of it. So that's what it sounds like without drum bus. That's what it sounds like with drum bus. I'm starting to think it might be a little too much. The snare is just going through EQ, drum bus. I'm really driving the drum bus on this one. And then I have it going through this like reso gate, which I kind of modified. So this is the snare. Weird, very weird. Definitely not something I would do in like a typical indie rock song. But I wanted to try something different, just to kind of get the drums more wide, but without just throwing on like micro shift or something like that. And then the cymbals, well, this is also the drum overheads. I have this panning reso preset. These are all just Corpus presets that I fiddle around with the settings. And this sounds really weird. So this is what it sounds like without. Sounds like drum overheads. This is what it sounds like with. It's almost a slapback delay, which is really kind of cool, I think. So after that, we just have it going through the oven and some compression. So this is what all of this sounds like without the bus compression. So yeah, that is the chorus drums. It's pretty simple. It's kind of weird. So I'll go ahead and solo these, and then I'll show you the bass. This is just from my Micro Freak. As you can see, I just clipped the input, and yeah, that's kind of the distortion that we're getting. Other than that, I have a transient shaper on it to kill the initial transient on it, because there is a pretty big pitch envelope on it. And then I also have some EQ here, boosting where I need to, because it was very, very sub heavy, and getting some more mid-range content out of it. And then I'm just side chaining that to the drums. The goal here isn't to have like a massive, you know, EDM 808. It's also not going to be an 808 that's like really in your face. And so I'm side chaining it. That way the focus is on like the drums, and it kind of makes it sit more in the pocket of how like a bass guitar would sit, which I could just use a bass guitar on this, but I don't have one right now. So that's what we're doing. Then I have the chorus guitars. These guitars are sick. These guitars are really, really sick. So this is using that neural amp modeler that everyone's been talking about, using the dimed bassman profile that I found, going through a Ownhammer Marshall 1960 cab loaded with T75s, and it should just be the 57 center of cone. And using my Telecaster Deluxe that has Lindy Frelin twang masters in it, and that's literally it. Like that's all that they sound like. And then I put on the oven after it to make it even more gross. So this is what the guitars sound like with no processing. Crazy. Here it is with the oven. So all together. Last piece of the puzzle here is this synth. It's just like a little synth lead I made on the Micro Freak. I think it's just like a triangle or a saw wave. So that's the chorus. I'm just going to work backwards in this video. So before that is the pre. This is pretty simple. We just have two acoustic guitars, processing very minimal, just EQ. Simple. And then I have this guitar in here too. And then a bass comes in halfway through. Simple. And that's the whole pre. That sounds like this. Easy. Then I'll just start from the intro here. So this guitar is kind of weird. We have, so I have like this little Ableton rack made so I could just like DI an acoustic guitar and it kind of sounds like it's recorded. Mostly use it when I'm demoing. So whenever I recorded the actual guitar using a microphone, I decided instead of taking out the convolution reverb, why don't we try to use like a different IR? So I actually just loaded up a snare drum sample in it, and it sounds like this, which I think is super, super cool. And I literally just have a high and low pass filter. These can actually, I could take these off, not using them. The rack is doing two other things though. So I have a little bit, well, actually, no, this reverb's off, so I could pull that out. And then I have some saturation from our good friend, Good Hertz Tube. So this is what it sounds like with nothing on it. And then this is with the processing. It's cool. Makes it sit in a different place than it normally would. And then I have a second guitar coming in here. Once again, this is kind of like a situation where I wanted a different kind of room. So I'm using the Ableton Hybrid Reverb just on like its stock setting. I like to put the blend all the way over to the left for the convolution. And then a lot of times I'll actually mess with like the decay and size of it. And it sounds like this without, and then with. Then just some EQ. Super filtered. I just wanted you to like kind of like hear the chiminess of it. Oh, and I forgot about the drums. So the drums are pretty simple. We just have a kick and snare. Then we have hi-hats. So yeah, that is basically the whole song. On the final chorus here, I did add in some extra layers, and those are also pretty simple. So we have this guitar that comes in. That is the same chain as before, same exact thing. And then I like maxed out the capitator after it. And then we have this guitar also. And I believe that was like a weird voice crack. I believe that's the only thing that we have coming in there. Yeah, these drums are off. I don't even need them. Take them out. And yeah, so here is, this time I'll play it from the second verse to the end of the song, since you already heard the first part. So thanks for watching. Pretty basic setup today, but I think it sounds really cool. And if you know who would sound good on this track, comment down below and we will make it happen. Have a good day.